So students, today we are with the last part of the story, the going places. Okay, so far we have come to know that Sophie, a girl who loved to live in her imagination, had fabricated a wild story of meeting the famous Irish footballer Danny Casey. She had come home and told that to her elder brother Geoff. Geoff had passed the information to their father, and also her friend Jency had come to know about it. And the story has two parts in it. One part is the meeting of Sophie with Denicase, and the other part that they were going for a date. Okay, now let us see what happens. After dark, she walked by the canal. It's page number 83, students. After dark, she walked by the canal along a sheltered path, lighted only by the glare of lamps from the wharf across the water. And the unceasing drone of the city was muffled and distant. Muffled means silent. So after dark means after it was dark, after darkness was set in, Sophie went to a particular spot, thinking that Denikedi was going to come and meet her and give her an autograph. So for Sophie, it was a kind of dating with Denikezi. Okay, she was eagerly going to meet Denikezi, thinking that the celebrity was going to come and meet her, give her an autograph. So after darkness had set in, she had walked by the canal. Canal is a artificial source of water to irrigate the fields along a sheltered path. So on top of that path there was shelter so that rain will not fall. Lighted only by the glare means the brightness of the lamps from the wharf across the water. Wharf means the dockyard where ships are kept. So at a distance there was the dockyard. So in the dockyard there were lamps, street lamps, and the light from the lamps had lighted that path. Okay, it was not very bright also, and the unceasing means unstoppable. Drone means the noise of the city was muffled and distant. Muffled means silent and distant. And Sophie had gone to a secluded place. এনেকুৱা এটা জেগাত তাই ডেনিকেজিক লগ কৰিবলৈ গৈছিলে য'ত city হুলস্থুলটো নাই. Okay, away from the hustle and bustle of the city, she had gone to a place like that. It was a place she had often played it when she was a child. This was a known place to her. She had gone there when she was a child. There was a wooden bench beneath a solitary elm. Elm is the name of a tree. Solitary means there was a lonely elm tree, and there was a bench beneath it where lovers sometimes came. She sat down to wait. It was the perfect place, she had always thought so, for a meeting of this kind. For those who wished not to be observed, she knew he would approve. সৰুতে সেই জেগাটুকুৰাত খেলা ধূলা কৰিবলৈ আহে আৰু তেতিয়া তাই দেখে যে the lovers used to come and sit on that bench, and then and there, when she was a child itself, she had made up her mind that when she would be coming for her date, her first date, she would select this particular spot. And this poor girl, she is now of the opinion, or she is under the impression that Denikezi was going to come and meet her. It was her first date, that with a celebrity, and so she had selected this secluded, isolated place away from the noise of the city. Okay, and she was sitting there on the bench waiting for Denikezi's arrival, and that place would be convenient. Why? Because there's not much of crowd, people will not see them, family members will not come to know. For some while waiting, she imagined his coming. She watched along the canal, seeing him come out of the shadows, imagining her own consequent excitement. She was waiting, and she was also visualizing, imagining Denikezi coming, how excited she will be. Not until some time had elapsed, means passed, did she begin balancing against this idea of his not coming. See, after some time had passed, slowly she was very hopeful in the beginning, very positive, but as time was passing, slowly she was balancing two ideas. He will come or not come. Okay, initially she thought that he is going to come, but as time passed, she was bringing in the idea of he's not coming, and she was balancing them. Here I said, she said to herself, wishing Danny would come, wishing he would come, and sensing the time passing. So hopeful, she was full of wishes, he is coming, but the time was also running by. I feel the pangs of doubt stirring inside me. Pangs means the pain of doubt within her, stirring inside her. I watch for him, but still there is no sign of him. She was watching as far as her eyes could go, but there was no sign of Denikezi coming. I remember Geoff saying he would never come, and how no one believed me when I told them. So she could clearly remember what her elder brother Geoff told her when she had informed him that Denikis was going to come to meet her again. He had fixed the meeting to give her an autograph, and Geoff had negated it, and Geoff had refused to believe it and telling that he is not going to come. That time I bhabi koiso Geoffৰ কথাটোৱে সঁচা হ'ব নেকি, কি হ'ব যদি নাহে. I wonder what will I do, what can I tell them now if he doesn't come, what she's going to tell her family members. But we know how it was Denny and me, that's the main thing. How can you help what people choose to believe? She's trying to console herself. Means there was a surge of emotions inside her, a conflict of feelings inside her, conflict of thoughts. এবাৰ ভাবিছে আহিব নাহে নাহিলে কি হ'ব ঘৰৰ মানুহক তাই কি বুলি ক'ব ঘৰলৈ ঘূৰি যাওঁতে দেৰি হ'ব কাৰণ তাই সন্ধিয়া সময়ত ওলাই আহিছে ডেনিকেজিক লগ পাম বুলি চ' শ্বি উইল ৰিটাৰ্ণ হোম লেট এভৰিৱান উইল বি প্ৰেজেণ্ট কি ক'বকে তেওঁলোকক যদি অটোগ্ৰাফ পোৱালেহেঁতেন ডেনিকেজিক সঁচাকৈ লগ পালেহেঁতেন she would have given the autograph, shown the autograph to them, and they would have been very excited and they would have forgotten that she was late in returning. See, when you bring some good news, you are late but you are bringing some good news home. Then the members forget about the fact that you are late. কিন্তু তাতে যদি তুমি দেৰিকে যোৱা তোমাৰ কামটো নহ'লে then the scenery, the atmosphere even becomes grimmer. Okay, so she was very tense, very sad what will happen, but she was sure that Denikezi had promised her. But how will she be able to prove it if she cannot give the show the autograph to them? But all the same, it makes me despondent. Despondent is very sad. This knowing I'll never be able to show them they are wrong to doubt me. Okay, she was trying to that she's not going to she will not be able to prove herself correct. That thing made her tensed. She waited, measuring in this way the changes taking place in her. Resignation was no sudden thing. So she was thinking the thoughts coming and going, crossing her mind. She didn't want to resign so easily, okay? Now I have become sad, she thought, and it is a hard burden to carry this sadness. Sitting here and waiting, knowing he will not come, I can see the future, how I will have to live with this burden. Now slowly negativity was cropping inside her. She knew that Denikezi was not going to come. So much of time had passed. She was waiting and knowing he will not come. She can visualize the future and she will have to live with the burden that Denikezi had promised her but he did not come. They will doubt me as they had always doubted me, but I will have to hold up my head, remembering how it was. She knew that Denikezi, they are going to doubt her, okay? Her family members always doubted her, but she has to hold up her head, remembering how it was. How it was means how Denikezi had promised her. Already I envisaged a slow walk home and Geoff's disappointed face when I tell him he didn't come, that Denny. And then he'll fly out and slam the door. But we know how it was. I shall tell myself, Danny and me, it's a hard thing, this sadness. So she could envisage, means she could visualize. I already imagine koribo parise. Lahe lahe ghorle khuskari jabo. Slowly she will walk home. Geoff will be disappointed. Jete Geoff koboge, Danny nahile nohoy. Geoff will be angry. Will fly out of the room, slam the door. But she, inside her, she's trying to console her that he had promised to come to meet her. I shall tell myself, Danny and me. It's a hard thing, this sadness, but that was a sadness that she had to carry with her. Which sadness? That Denikezi didn't come to meet her. She climbed the crumbling steps to the street. Outside the pub, she passed her father's bicycle propped against the wall and was glad he would not be there when she got home. Lahe lahe tai aru mane har manile. Okay, she resigned. She climbed the crumbling steps, means the broken steps, to the street. While she was going home, on the way she saw the pub was there, where she saw her father's bicycle, and that made her happy. Propped means supported against the wall. At least he would not be there when she reached home. Deutakor cycle khon pabot thoka mane tai deutakor ke agote ghor paboge, gotike deutak hetu eta bhoy komi ase because she was very afraid of her father. Okay, he was very authoritative in temperament. Okay, she didn't have a good relation with her. She was very strict, stern with her. So it's good that her father will not be there when she reached home. Excuse me, but aren't you Denikezi? Coming through the arcade, she pictured him again outside Royce's. So when she was coming through the arcade, again the meeting came before her eyes. Okay, again she visually আকৌ তাই কল্পনা কৰিছে কেনেকৈ তাই ডেনিকেজিক লগ পাইছিলে সেই মুহূৰ্তখিনি তাই মনৰে কথাখিনি আকৌ মনলৈ ঘূৰি আহিছে. Okay, it was all imaginative, students. It was fictitious, but again whenever she reaches that place, again the thoughts come to her mind. Meeting, the imaginary meeting with Denikezi. As she remembers, he was becoming red. Yes, that's right. I watch you every week with my dad and my brothers. We think you are great. She had told like that to Denikezi. We think you are great. Oh well, that's very nice. I wonder, would you mind signing an autograph? She had told him. The autograph ekhon diba niki? Ami tomak bahut bhal pao. We are your friends. We watch you every week. Will you give an autograph? His eyes are on the same level as yours. His nose is freckled. Freckle means with brown spots. These people of the European countries have very bright complexion, very fair complexion. Most of them have freckles on their skin, means the brown spots. His nose was freckled with brown spots and turned upwards slightly like that. And when he smiles, he does so shyly, exposing teeth with gaps between. So when he smiles, He was a very shy kind of person, and when he smiled, he didn't smile openly, very shyly, and his teeth showed that there were gaps in between. His eyes are green, and when he looks straight at you, they seem to shimmer. He had green eyes and very bright eyes, and when they look into you, they seem to shine. They seem gentle, almost afraid, like a gazelle. Gazelle is a kind of deer. His eyes are so beautiful, like that of a deer. And you look away. You let his eyes run over you a little, and then you come back to find them slightly breathless. You again look at them, his eyes, look into his eyes. You feel breathless, slightly breathless. Okay, this the close meeting of Sophie with Danny Casey. Okay, she remembers. And then he says, I don't seem to have a pen at all. You realize you have haven't either. My brothers will be very sorry, you say. So she remembers that when she tells him that I don't have a paper, don't have a pen, my brothers will be sorry. That was the conversation she imagined she had with Danny Casey, the exchanges with Danny Casey, okay? And afterwards, he waited there alone in the arcade for a long while, standing where he stood, remembering the soft, melodious voice, the shimmer of green eyes, no taller than you, no bolder than you, the prodigy, the innocent genius, the great Danny Casey. So afterward, now when she was disheartened, she was returning home, she was standing there, waiting alone in the arcade for a long while. She could, everything surged up in her memory. Danny Casey's face, his melodious voice, the shimmer of his green eyes, not much taller than herself, not bolder. That prodigy means that young talent, genius, innocent face, Danny Casey. Okay, so that was, students, the imaginary meeting of Sophie with Danny Casey, which she was so imaginative. She lived in her dreams that sometimes she found it difficult to find a demarcation between her dream world and her real world. It was a part of her imagination. She concocted, she fabricated the story of meeting Danny Casey. So in her imagination, that was the relationship that she shared with Danny Casey, relationship of two lovers. Okay, she thought that she was the lover of Danny Casey. Danny Casey also loved her. They would go for dates. That was in her imagination. You know that our mind can imagine anything. Okay, it has wings, it has no restrictions. But now the last paragraph, you see, students, how the author places the reality. What is the actual relationship between Sophie and Danny Casey? And she saw it all again. Last Saturday, say him goes past the lumbering defenders, heard the 50,000 catch their breath as he hovered momentarily over the ball. So actual relation between Sophie and Danny Casey can be only that of a spectator and a celebrity. So that was the reality when they went to watch the football match last Saturday. Goes past means quickly he was passing by the lumbering defenders, okay, the defenders who tried to defend him. 50,000 people here means the spectators. 50,000 people were there in the stadium. They were catching their breath, okay, they were so means tense. It was a nail biting event. Hovered momentarily over the ball. He hovered momentarily over means Danny Casey momentarily, as if he was standing on the air, and then suddenly he made the goal, and there was an explosion of sound. People were clapping as he struck crisply into the goal. He made the goal, and thunderous eruption. People clapped. They exultant means they approved. They were shouting. So everyone was happy. Such a great player he was. He was a celebrity. But Sophie was among those 50,000 people just watching Danny Casey from a distance. So these two paragraphs are very important. The author is juxtaposed to show that in her imagination only Danny Casey can be so close to her that she can see the shimmer in his eyes. But in reality, she is only a spectator, a mere spectator. Danny Casey is celebrity. There cannot be any love relationship between them. He is a star and she is something of the ground. Okay, now students, that is the reality. She can only clap for him. She cannot think of a relationship. She can only be a mere spectator among those 50,000 people, not more than that. That is the reality. Her father understood it, okay, but Geoff believed to some extent that she had met it, but that was not a reality. Mind you, she never met Danny Casey from such a close quarter. It was her imagination. She can only see Danny Casey as a celebrity, as a player in the playground. Understood? So now the question is, why did she imagine these things? Sophie wanted a sophisticated life. So she had far-fetched dreams for her future. She wanted to be an actress, to open a boutique, or be a fashion designer. Or she thought that if she married, or if she had an affair with Danny Casey, and the affair leads to means healthy affairs lead to true efforts lead to marriage, she will marry Danny Casey. Then also she will get a sophisticated life. Actually, she was The poor girl was burdened with poverty. She was frustrated with the poverty-stricken life. She didn't want that her mother's history should be repeated. She didn't want to remain like that. So two ways were there. Either she will herself become rich, or she will marry a rich man and become rich. Okay, that was her imagination. Okay. So that is why, see, it's termed as going places is a transition between three things: reality and imagination, dream world; poverty and high life, okay, a sophisticated life; and the transition between age. She was a teenager, that's why she had such dreams. Okay, once she will gain maturity, such dreams will not disturb her. Okay, thank you.